Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Create Your Life series, where we help you maximize your potential and results in the area of personal development, entrepreneurship, and travel. And I'm your host, Kevin Y. Brown.
Create your life.
Crée ta propre vie.
Create your life.
创造你的生活。
Create your life.
Crea la tua vita.
Create your life.
Ontdek jou lewe.
You better create your life.
Create your life.
Create la vie.
Create your life.
Create your life.
Beautiful people, happy Sunday. How are you today? It is a wonderful and beautiful day out there. I know for those in the Create Your Life series family, if you are here in New York City, you are probably at that fish fry at the Kappa House, probably at Curl Fest. I'm a little jealous, but definitely happy to be here serving you. Oh, yes, absolutely. Or at Pride. Today is a beautiful day. And as you know, the purpose of the Create Your Life series is to help you maximize your potential and results. And so we have on these great experts who we are basically trying to figure out, what are your daily routines? What is it that makes you successful? What has been your journey? And how can we mimic those steps in order to get the most out of our lives and actually reach our full potential? So today we're actually going to do a little bit of piggybacking off of one of our episodes, which was the 10 pillars of defining and achieving your success. I think in order to really be able to become successful, you definitely have to walk in your purpose, and you have to be intentional with what it is that you do. And I say this because, as an entrepreneur and a person who's been walking on their own path, hence creating my own life, I've definitely had the opportunity to have some challenges, and understanding my purpose and being intentional, especially here in New York City, because it gets very, very real. That has been something that has helped me and guided me and helped me put in those long 16 to 18-hour days. And so I want you to know that, being on purpose is important. And in order for us to talk a little bit more about being on purpose, we've brought in the perfect person, Miss Being on Purpose herself, Miss Jovian Zayne. Miss Jovian Zayne, please say hello to the Create Your Life series family.
Hello, Create Your Life series family.
Yes, so we have Jovian today. And the funny thing about Jovian, which is so cool, is I met Jovian about 8 years ago.
A long time ago
In New York. My first year in New York, we were introduced via a friend, Larry Yarrell.
Yes. Shout out to Larry.
Yeah, shout out to Larry. Good brother from the Dallas, Texas area.
That's right.
And, since then, hold on, are you from Texas too?
I am. I was born in Denton, Texas, so north of Dallas.
Oh, okay. So, wow, look at that connection between y'all two. And so I met Jovian, and I've had the opportunity to watch Jovian actually grow in her purpose and become this phenomenal on-purpose leader, as well as author of contributing author in a phenomenal book called Lessons in Leadership, which was actually published by our Red Letter Publishing professional series. So, that's amazing. So, Jovian, my first question to you is, you just wrapped up the International Day of Purpose.
I
right?
did.
The first one.
Yes, we did.
We did. Who was involved in what is this? The International Day of Purpose.
Wow, it is an incredible day. So the International Day of Purpose was started by myself and the collective that I lead, which is called the On Purpose Movement, which, Kevin, you can be a part of. Sharice, you can be a part of. So many people are part of this.
Hey, Create Your Life series.
Exactly.
We'd love to be a part of the On Purpose movement.
Exactly, yes. So really, people who are part of the On Purpose movement are people who believe in the power of their purpose. And they believe that it's important to not live by accident, but instead to live on purpose, right? There's so often, many of us, we're just kind of going through life. Mm-hmm. We are going through the motions. We are doing things with routine. We are following in the footsteps of other people that we think are doing the right thing, but we've yet to really define and understand what is it that we need to be doing to contribute to the world around us. How do we serve a purpose that is unique and distinct to us? And instead of doing that, right, instead of focusing on ourselves, we oftentimes are focusing on other people and letting them be our guide. And it's fine to let other people be your guide if you've also gotten a sense of self. So you're not so overtaken by what the world is telling you to do that you're not in tuned with who you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to show up in the world. So at the On Purpose movement, again, we believe in the power of purpose. And we thought at the beginning of this year, how do we celebrate all the work that we've been doing, all this work around coaching people to be their best selves? And in the capacity that I'm in as like the chief consultant and the leader of this group, I often spend my time working with individuals and organizations, helping them to lead and live and work on purpose. So that looks like speaking engagements. It looks like one-on-one coaching. It could also look like creating facilitated experiences for people. But throughout our time doing this work, one of the things that kind of came up was this big question that we started to ask over and over again, which was, what would happen if everyone in the world decided to live on purpose? And let me just let that sit for a second, right? Like, what would happen, seriously, Kevin, if everyone in the world decided to live on purpose?
You have a lot of people, a lot of happy people, I feel like you have.
I think so, right? Like, it would be a lot of happy people. It would be people who would be, I think, initially uncomfortable because they'd be realizing that they actually were living by accident, just kind of going through the motions.
Right.
But there would be a shift. There'd be a lot more intentionality, a lot more, I think, outcomes that people would actually want to drive towards versus the things we end up in. And so the Day of Purpose was really born out of that question. We thought, how do we get as many people as possible thinking about their purpose? How many organizations, brands, and institutions can we get centering their day, and not just the day, but then, using the day as a springboard to move forward and thinking about how are we on purpose?
Right. So what did the day actually consist of?
Yeah.
Did you guys have like a location here in New York, or like what happened?
Exactly. Great question. So very similar to these days that you see all the time, right? Like, there are some inconsequential days, if I may say, like National Donut Day or Flip Flop Day.
I love donuts. Dope.
I do too. Hello. But I also love my waistline though, so I have to eat on purpose.
True. Hey, you got to eat on purpose, right? Think on purpose, work out on purpose.
All the above, right? But no, so we patterned the day after some very successful days that I think have helped a lot of people do things better. So like National Day of Prayer, International Day of Peace, World, all those days. And we thought about, okay, what's consistent about them? There's typically a host city, and then there are events or different opportunities for people to engage online and in person. And so for our day, what we thought about was this, the main goal being we want to have as many people as possible thinking about how do they be their best selves on purpose, right? So we gave people opportunities to reflect on purpose, engage on purpose, and share on purpose.
Where?
I will tell you, everywhere, right? So no matter where you were that day, we literally had on purpose programming happening from Los Angeles to Brazil to Johannesburg.
How did you get these people to buy into your idea in these different locations and actually set up? So I'm assuming you could see, like, let's say we brought everybody to a gymnasium or to a conference room. You had this group of 200, 300 people. Were you actually able to like see them? They're focusing on this work.
Yeah. So for instance, like in Johannesburg, they did one of our workshops. They built a purpose wall.
Nice.
And that was for, it was the African Leadership Academy.
What is the on purpose wall?
Yeah. An on purpose wall has a big header, and it says like, I live on purpose by ... And then people were able to fill that in. A matter of fact, if you go to 116th and Adam Clayton Powell right now in Harlem, there is a massive purpose wall. It's like it's almost half the block. It's right there in the corner. Yes. Okay. Where we kicked off the Day of Purpose last Sunday on Father's Day on the 19th. And people all over the community were able to write, their thoughts. And what was really cool about it, and you saw how international this is, you go back and see the wall now. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in English, but there are things in different languages as well.
Wow.
Answers to that question in Spanish and French, right? It's pretty awesome. And so we were able to see on that day through social media, pictures of people teaching tap dances on purpose. We were able to see people doing fitness experiences, so people could be fit on purpose that day from all over. So the social media component was awesome because people were able to engage wherever, and it was really dope. I mean, our presence was, I'm telling you, Kevin, like seriously, my mind was blown. We had over 10 million people engaged in this, and we trended on Twitter twice. Because the White House Initiative for African American Educational Excellence is one of our partners, and they hosted, along with a lot of other folks, this this Twitter chat at 12:30, which focused on teaching on purpose. Like, how do you increase awareness around what it means to be an effective teacher? Teaching practice is everything. And so our Teach on Purpose hashtag trended, Day of Purpose trended. I mean, like it was pretty incredible to see. And
That's awesome.
Yes, there was programming happening everywhere. There was stuff online happening. And then there was also, we had a host city here in New York, and we had a huge culminating event on the 20th. So it was exciting to say the least. I still can't believe it happened. And it's almost tomorrow will be a full week since the Day of Purpose. And all we're thinking about is like, what's going to happen next, So.
Okay. Well, Jovian, I got to ask you, were you always traveling the world and doing this consulting and teaching people how to be on purpose?
To be honest, no. I do think that, in my formal capacity, I absolutely know I was not doing that. But prior to, yes, while I was traveling on my own, personal fancy and all that kind of good stuff, I don't think my intention necessarily was to do what I'm doing now.
Okay.
But I think my travels and the experiences I've had in my life have helped me to get to this place for sure. They've helped me to be more on purpose. Like I was telling someone, and I often talk about this, actually it's in the book, there are experiences that you have in life that if you look back on them, you can see they're leading you somewhere. I call those the breadcrumb experiences. And there were many breadcrumb experiences I had that led me to this point now as an entrepreneur who really gets to help coach, support, and develop other people around being their best self on purpose.
Well, Create Your Life Series family, what we're going to do right now is we're going to open up the phone lines if you have any questions for Miss Being on Purpose herself, Jovian Zayne, and that is 212-650-6903. You were talking about these breadcrumbs of experiences. So if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, you graduated with the bachelor's in psychology from the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill.
I did.
But you also held a very distinct position on your way out. And can you please tell our listeners about that?
Yeah, so I was really privileged and I would say honored for sure to be elected as the first Black woman to become senior class president at UNC Chapel Hill. And that experience was one of those pretty significant breadcrumb experiences for me. So people often would think about that also as like a defining moment, which it absolutely was. I mean, that was the time when I'm a young Black girl from the South, right? North Carolina's definitely in the South. So I was familiar, obviously, with Southern culture, but still, being the first and representing women, representing Black people in that way, it just taught me so much about myself. I mean, I was even inspired to run for office and knew that was a part of what God was calling me to do. And I thought about my parents and the legacy that they had left for me. I mean, they are two people who have taught me time and time again and reminded me time and time again that your life isn't your own and that you are responsible for doing something while you're here. It's a privilege to be here. It's a privilege to be alive. And you should take the time that you have to contribute to the world around you in a positive way. And if that means that you're opening doors for other people to have a better experience, that's what you're doing. And they left me that example. I mean, my dad integrated schools in South Carolina when he was only 14.
Wow.
Yeah. Imagine young Black boy, deep South, right? Like he was in North Augusta, South Carolina, integrating schools. Wow. Exactly.
I'm a little familiar.
Yeah. And,
I went to school in Atlanta.
Hello. And he was one of a few who were supposed to come. And then that day happened and he was the only one that came. And no one talked to him for almost a full year until the end of school. And one little girl finally came up to him and said, "Hey, Nathaniel." But that's the kind of example. And my mom also was with a small group of women who integrated school, Winthrop College in South Carolina. And so that's the example. And that's ultimately why I ran for office. I had to have that kind of push,
Wow. Talking about push, Jovian, you still got our phone lines going.
Oh, okay, great.
Caller, say hello to Jovian Zayne on the Create Your Life series.
Hey, it's Dustin.
Hi, Dustin. How's it going? Are you listening to us right now? I mean, Jovian Zayne is here.
What's up, Dustin?
Teaching us purpose.
Yeah, I listen to you guys all the time, and I love the message that you guys are putting out there. So, I definitely appreciate it. Keep doing your thing, Kev.
Will do. We'll keep being on purpose around these parts. Thanks for calling in, Dustin. Yeah, so Jovian, so your dad is a trailblazer. Your mother's a trailblazer. You're a trailblazer. After you graduate from North Carolina, what are your steps? Like, what are the things that you did? Like, tell us how you got to where you are now. I want to hear about that journey.
Well, I will give you a very abbreviated version. I'll tell you the thing that oftentimes people don't talk about, which is the extreme failure. I mean, I graduated school, right? You just heard I had this very pinnacle moment. I'm the first Black woman to take this position and everything. And I thought I would have so many different options. And I did till I didn't. So when I left school, I moved to DC and I took a position, which was like a temporary position, but I thought would turn into something more. But I started working at the Presidential Classroom, which actually is an organization that doesn't exist anymore. But I was working for the PC doing civic engagement. So the Presidential Classroom helps kids from around the world get more invested in civic education and leadership. So I did that and then realized, though, that though I'd had political experience at school, I did not want to have anything to do with the political experience of our government, truly.
Okay.
And DC wasn't the move. So I moved back home. And I'm grateful that my parents had a home and had the capacity to take me in for a while. But child, let me tell you, like that, I mean, that experience was humbling and it was frustrating. And it was longer than I wanted. I mean, I thought maybe a month, and I think I was there. If I moved back at the end of the summer, I was there till like in November. Yeah, it was November of that year when I moved finally and started a career in marketing with Black & Decker at the time, which ultimately moved me from North Carolina to Atlanta, where I did really well, got promoted 3 times, and ultimately ended up in New York, where I've been now for over 10 years. But it was, like I said, that experience of going back home when you had a really big high, and then, you know, everyone around you is expecting great things. Oh, you should have this, and you can do this, and you about to make all this money. And I'm coming back home every day after like hustling, trying to go to job interviews. I'm driving all over North Carolina, seeing friends, but also interviewing everywhere from Charlotte to, you know, to DC again, wherever. And, you know, I'm coming home. My dad's like, well, you got to get a job somewhere. I don't care if it's at the Cleaner World or the library up the street. You got to get a job somewhere. And, you know, I know that push came from a great place, and it kept the fire lit under me so I wouldn't get complacent. But it was, like I said, it was very humbling. You know, I felt like I wasn't meeting anyone's expectations at all.
And when you talk about meeting other people's expectations, you know, I feel like sometimes people, they get caught up in that, right?
Yeah.
Meeting someone else's expectations. But even with your dad pushing you like this, at this humbling time, it was an opportunity for you to become clear on your purpose. I mean, you understand.
Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt. And there are people who helped me along the way, right? So my parents were one piece of that. But also during that time, you know, I think when your back's against the wall, the fight or flight kicks in, you know? And I also think when you are down, and if you have been thoughtful about who you put around you, like how you've cultivated your circle, you can see people come up and are ready to help you. So during that time, I had mentors. I mean, these are people from my church growing up. These are former professors. They were, you know, college advisors. They were my parents' friends, whoever, you know, mentors I had met along the way during the job interview process, people who fed into me at that point, who helped me to see myself again, helped me to see myself out of the darkness that I was in at that moment. They gave me perspective so I wouldn't get so consumed with my present defeat that I'd be able to see their future success, which I needed. I needed them to tell me, oh, girl, it's fine. You know, you don't know what you're going to do right now. That's okay. I didn't either. But here are some things you're going to do.
Transparency.
You know, they gave me that. They shared their lessons. And I think, you know, everyone always says, like, everything happens for a reason. And I believe that. But I believe the reason is this. If we are strong enough to be vulnerable enough to tell our story is the reason why someone else can come out of their mess. But we have to be honest enough about what we're going through, the struggles we've been through. That way someone else doesn't feel alone. Because we are, there's a shared human experience.
Absolutely.
Right? There are ups and downs. There are things, Kevin, you have experienced when you went to South Africa,
right? The
good and the bad, that other people now can learn from in their home in Detroit. You know, like there are stories you're going to be able to tell that your failures are going to help someone else avoid the same kind of failure. Or your failure, you telling that story, gives someone else the life raft that they need to come out of their own. Because they know, wait, I'm not in this alone. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And even if they don't see their own light, they've seen yours, which gives them a sense of what's possible.
Right. And, you know, the thing is that sometimes we think that there's a shortage of possibilities.
Hello.
And in reality, you know, it's limitless. That's the
really
create your life part of it.
It really is.
But your purpose, it drives you, you know, and I'm happy about that this is the area that you chose to highlight, you know, from that experience of, you know, having that humble moment and then coming straight to New York.
Coming out of it, yeah.
And you were at Teach for America for a little while, right?
I was. So another breadcrumb experience was when I left Black & Decker and found my way to TFA. I was, again, like I was saying, I was doing really well when I was at Black & Decker at 3 different roles. But my last role, that last role just wasn't for me. And I knew it. I knew it, y'all. I mean, like I would have those Sunday blues that I know so many people listening have had. They're probably right now listening to the show because they need some inspiration because they're dreading tomorrow. Like I was in
Monday blues.
I was in that place where I was like, I can't, and I was trying to avoid going to work.
How did you make that transition up out of that those Monday blues to TFA?
To be very candid, like I was in a deep space of prayer. I mean, I think I was feeling very low, but knew that I was also at that point kind of living by default. Like I was just kind of going through the motions. I wasn't finding any joy out of the work. And because of that, I was starting to lash out. Like I was just like, somebody's got to help me out here. But thankfully, I turned inward to my relationship with God, which is something that's very important to me, and gave me some clarity. And God was like, just hold on, watch. And thankfully, things started to shift within our company, and there was a reorg happening, and I was in a position to be able to opt out of, an opportunity so I could free myself. And so ended up leaving, which was great. And when I left, I think the best thing that I was able to do was just take some time to reflect on what did I enjoy about my, past life at Black & Decker? What didn't I enjoy?
Right.
What was challenging? How was I showing up? I mean, like I did a lot of self-reflective activities, lots of journaling. I mean, I read books, by Stephen Covey. I read things by David Brooks. The Social Animals is one of my favorite books ever. I read, I got into Strength Finder to really assess like, okay, what am I good at and in what capacity? I tapped into 360 reviews. I mean, these are all things that we have at our disposal. And when we are in a tough place, I think the more often we can gain self-awareness and we can see the way other people see us, it gives us some perspective that we need to figure out our next step. And I think that's a very important part when trying to tap into your purpose.
Absolutely. Well, being able and being open to criticism and advice from others is important for growth. And so with that being said, if there are any listeners out there who want to ask Jovian any questions, I want to remind you that you can call in at 212-650-6903. So Jovian, with that being said, you moved on to TFA. How long did you work there and in what capacity?
Yeah, so I came to TFA. Again, mentors really helped me figure out that next move. I mean, I was thinking about at that point, how do I leverage my experience that I had at Black & Decker in marketing into something that was going to help people outside of the marketing space, right? Like, how can I do something that's going to matter more to my community? And I came on board doing development. So I have lots of fundraising experience. And then was able to leverage my skills around project management, connecting with people into more of the human assets side. So I did recruitment for a while there and was thinking about staff development before moving into more senior leadership, where I helped to manage a team that thought about how do we get the right people in the right roles at the right time all around the organization. So that was really helpful. So if you're listening and you have questions,
you got us blowing up right now.
Oh, well, I'm glad. About to say, if you guys have questions around how do you navigate your job experiences, how do you, create a better resume, all that kind of good stuff, I got you.
Jovian, I guess you are inspiring some people to be on purpose and to actually, really, really want to tap in. So please tell us more. So you're at TFA, you're getting this great experience. What was next? Because now you're literally running the On Purpose movement. How did you go from there to there?
Yeah. So my last experience at TFA was super dope. I have lots of wonderful things to say about that organization. I learned a lot about myself when I was there. And in my last role, I was spending time managing people, building a team, but I was also spending time coaching and developing other people. Like I was helping to facilitate leadership journeys for staff members all around the country, which was awesome. And within that, my last year there, I knew that I had been, doing the side hustle thing for a while. I'd built up speaking engagements and one-on-one coaching clients and all that kind of good stuff. You know what that's like.
Absolutely.
But I knew that it was getting ready to be time. Like I felt that itch and something else was coming. Because I was at TFA for about 6 years and some change. 6.5 years. And I felt like it was time and made my transition out to be a full-time entrepreneur. But I will tell you this, in all honesty, as much as I knew I was ready to do my own thing, I wasn't totally ready. Like I had to be, I I was afraid, honestly. Like I was afraid to step out fully. Like I saw the path, but I didn't see the path, which I think speaks to faith. Like if you saw the path fully and you still did it, that didn't really require any faith because you can already see where you're going.
Absolutely.
So in my, little bit of doubt, when I left TFA, I was still looking for other job opportunities. I thought, okay, well, I'll navigate, you know what I mean? I'll try something new. I'll try to do the similar thing that I was doing, but maybe at a larger scale at another place. And frankly, when it came down to it, nothing worked out. Like it just wasn't working out. And I see why. Like it wasn't supposed to work out. I mean, I was hustling in other ways. And as soon as I ball up your fist right now, right?
I'm balling it up.
Like I was holding on to everything that was comfortable.
Right.
But I also wasn't allowing anything in. But the moment that I opened my fist and said, okay, I'm going to let go of what's comfortable and I'm going to allow new things to come in, like my hand couldn't even control it all. You know what I mean? Like the clients started coming out of nowhere, or my previous clients, they just wanted to expand our work together. It's almost like they're waiting for me to tell them I had more capacity. Because as soon as I did, it just grew from there. And so that's when the work that, I'd been doing around helping individuals live and work on purpose, it just started to expand.
Wow. And I mean, I'm happy to see like where your brand is going, and that the video promo for
International Day of Purpose.
For International Day of Purpose, that was hot.
Yeah,
that was
shout out to
high.
Listen to Me Production. It's a production company, and they were behind all of that and all of the videos that we had coming out with some of our celebrity ambassadors, like the one from Janelle Monáe, Jadena, etc. Yeah, so Listen to Me Productions.
Absolutely. So now I got to get into your business now just a little bit more. So you're now a full-time entrepreneur.
I am.
So can you tell me what does your daily routine look like, for this woman who's went from being corporate in the corporate setting to now running your own enterprise? What does your day-to-day look like?
Yeah, I know. I can imagine lots of people say it's different every day, but it truly is. Like I think, as an entrepreneur, the cool thing is you get to develop your schedule. Right. That can also be, though, I would tell people who are thinking about being an entrepreneur, it can be very scary. Like if you are not someone who's self-regulated or very well self-managed, being an entrepreneur can be overwhelming because there are possibilities ahead of you that can feel just like, wow, I can do this. And you got to set some boundaries and schedules for yourself or you'll burn out or you frankly won't make any progress. So my day-to-day pretty much starts very similarly in that I always have some quiet time in the morning.
What time are you getting up?
That varies, but I'm a morning person for the most part. So I'm typically up like at 7:30-ish, 8 at the latest.
Okay.
I go to the gym 3 times a week, roughly 3 to 4, depends.
How long are you spending in the gym?
An hour.
The reason why I'm asking is because some people, they model their schedules after those who are successful at doing things like they want to. That's why I'll give you. Okay, so I'll tell you my best day. So if you're thinking about modeling, I'm going to tell you all this with this major caveat. You got to know yourself first. Like you can listen to my schedule, but if you're not a morning person, you shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. Because you waking up in the morning is going to make you dizzy. My boyfriend, he's not a morning person. And we've tried to go to the gym together sometimes in the morning. It's his worst day ever. He crashes at 12 and he just doesn't recover because he's not energized in the morning. Meanwhile, I'm done. Like 12 o'clock at night, like I got to wrap it up. And he's hitting his stride. He's on a whole nother level. So to take what I'm saying in the context of understanding your own habits and where your energy flows. Okay. Thank you for framing that.
Yeah. But for me, as a morning person, I do wake up pretty early. So 7:38, I can be at the gym ideally by 8:30, no later than 9. I'm there for an hour or so, maybe a little less. I mean, I do at the gym, I'm either spinning because I love spin classes, or I'm doing individual spin because I've done it for a while now. So I know how to make it count. Or I do Nike Training Club. So check your apps right now. Download NTC. It's a free app by Nike, and you can do all kind of exercises that will get your life together. So I do Nike Training Club, or I take some classes, and then I dip. I walk home, shower and all that good stuff. I make a smoothie off top, protein shake.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right. Smoothie on purpose?
Smoothie on purpose, yeah, because you got to eat on purpose, right? Like I start everything that I'm doing, I'm making an intentional decision about how is that helping me to be my best that day.
Absolutely.
Right, which is a part about being on purpose.
And then it compounds, right?
Absolutely.
The day turns to the week, to the month, to your overall year goals.
Absolutely.
Now keep talking.
Yes. So I'm waking up on purpose. I'm having my quiet time on purpose before I even go to the gym. Let me focus on that and tell y'all, I'm not sure what your source is. And what I mean by source is like your spiritual energy, etc. But for me, I got to start my morning with my source. And so I am journaling. I'm having my quiet time, my prayers. The Abide app has also been something I've really enjoyed. But I do that before I leave the house because all kind of energy will come towards you. And if you're not centered and focused, your day can be changed in a moment.
Absolutely.
Like, somebody on the street can jack you up in New York quickly and you like, wait, what? And you're ready to get back in the bed and it's not even 10. So let's skip forward, right? I'm back at home, post gym and everything. I got my smoothie, so I'm eating on purpose already. And then I'm sitting down to work. I have worked from home for a long time. Even when I was at TFA, I was able to work from home. So I'm pretty comfortable in that space. If I wasn't though, like if I know I need the energy from other people, hit up some coffee shops. Silvana's one that I love. I also love Frederick's.
Mist?
Yeah, I love Mist as well.
Mist
That's
good.
Your place.
Yeah, Mist is my
That's
place.
Your joint. Yeah.
116th out between 6th and 5th, man. I'm always working in there.
So I'm doing work, and I block off my day in terms of my work schedule differently. My Mondays are my coaching days. So that's when I'm coaching lots of clients back to back because it's a good flow of energy then. On my other days, I may be going to my clients' offices. So they're all over New York. And then if they are not in New York, then I'm on the phone with them.
Absolutely.
If I'm preparing to do a speaking engagement, then I'm working on, speeches during the day, or could be designing a curriculum that I'm going to be using for some kind of leadership development seminar. So all that varies, but
how much time do you spend working on a speech? I'm just curious before you go on. Like how many hours do you say?
It really, to be straight up, it depends on if I've done it before. Like if it's a completely new topic, then I'm spending a lot more time. And I like to give myself as much time as possible to even begin to think about it.
Quantify.
So,
20 hours, 10 hours.
Let's say somebody hits me up. Ideally, you should hit me up in like at least a month and a half in advance, right? Let's say they hit me way in advance. That's on the ideal time. Let's be real. That doesn't always happen at all. But let's say they hit me way in advance. Cool. I'm not working on the speech necessarily then, but I put it in my spirit.
Okay.
And I really do. I pray about it immediately. And I love that because I have started to see how images, analogies, quotes, people pop up who I will weave into the speech from the moment I know it's going to happen to then. So that's what I mean. Like I immediately start to prepare. I open myself up to hear what is it that I'm supposed to give this group of people that I've never met before. If I get it later, like the invite comes later, then I do what I can, to make something happen.
To knock it out the park.
Yeah,
you mean to kill it on purpose? Is that what you're saying?
Kill it on purpose.
To kill it on
I'm about
purpose.
to speak on purpose. Yeah, so it could be like a week, it just depends.
Okay. I want to know, how do you stay motivated to remain successful?
Yes, let me tell y'all this.
Give us a couple things.
So outside of my own personal relationship with God, which I will not stress because it is crucial, the people that I put around me, they say things like the whoever they is, but I guess I'm one of the days now. But the company you keep determines the trouble you meet, Oh,
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm about to write that down.
Yeah, I also say the company you keep determines the opportunities you meet, the joy you meet. Like you can insert other words.
Opportunities you seek. How about that?
That too.
Elevate.
Yes, all of that. Yes. I mean, the people around me keep me going for sure. Like I've got an incredible network that inspires me by just being who they are, honestly. Like I think I'm very careful about my energy. I'm careful about who's in my inner circle. If you know me, you know this. Like I have lots of people who are around me, but very few people who are actually around me.
Absolutely.
And I've been that way since I was a little girl. And I see now as things continue to change for me, why God positioned my spirit that way to begin with, because when you're in the kind of the work that we do, when you put out a lot, you got to be careful about what you take in.
Absolutely.
And so I'm very thoughtful about who is it that I let edify my spirit, encourage me, because I feel a very deep responsibility to be an encourager for others. And you can only give out what you got in.
Absolutely. What is one of your favorite quotes?
Ooh, my favorite quotes. Yes, Lord. Let me tell y'all. My favorite quote is from my godmommy, Maya Angelou, and it is, this quote is so good. People may not remember what you said or what you did, but they will always remember how you made them feel. I've been saying that for years, and I have found fewer things to be true. I mean, people will come into your life and do different things, but you may not remember exactly what they did to you, what they gave you, but you will really remember how you felt encountering that person. What's the residue that you leave when you leave someone's face? Like, is it like, am I thinking about Kevin Y. Brown in a nice way?
Right.
or am I kind of rolling my eyes? You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. I call it an experience.
Yes.
What experience do you provide to everyone else?
Absolutely.
And wow, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So this is my next question for you. What new things do you actually have coming up?
Ooh, this is exciting. Yeah, lots of things that are coming up. Let me see. So folks can check out tomorrow the Day of Purpose website. So that's dayofpurpose.org. And if you go to that site, you'll be able to see a full recap video from Day of Purpose this year.
Starting tomorrow?
Yeah, starting tomorrow.
Okay.
So Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Should be able to check that out. And then you can go to my website, jovianzayne.com. That's JOVIANZAYNE.com and check out all kinds of things that I'm doing coming up. So this weekend is Essence Fest.
Yes.
So July, goodness gracious, y'all, it's about to be July.
Summer, man,
Yo, it like really just hit me. Like I knew it was coming, but like saying July as in like June's over is wild to me.
Gotta get that beach time in.
Listen, yeah. So July's coming. So I'm speaking at Essence with She Who Dares, which is an incredible movement about empowering women to be women who can dare greatly and can dare to be their best. And so I'm moderating an awesome discussion there on July 2nd.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can look forward to that.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you this. For someone who is looking to create their life and to be a phenomenal woman like you, what are 3 things that you would say to them?
Ooh. In order for them...
They want to be a female. I mean, they want to be an entrepreneur. It doesn't have to be, gender doesn't matter.
Women, yeah,
men or women. They want to be on purpose. As a matter of fact, no. How does someone get on purpose?
How do you get on purpose?
How do you get on purpose?
Let me tell you about being on purpose. At the On Purpose movement, we believe being on purpose is kind of like a triple entendre, you know? So it's really about this. You cannot be on purpose if you haven't first discovered or been committed to understanding and discovering what your purpose is. So that's the first piece. Like when you are on purpose, you're constantly in discovery mode and seeking out, how are you living out your purpose? Like what is that thing that's unique to you? What are you called to do? What are your gifts? Where do your gifts, your passions, your intentions collide? You know, what are those things? So that's the first piece of it. Then we think about, to be on purpose, you are making daily decisions that are with the intention of serving your purpose. Okay. So in the same way that you heard me talk through my day, right? Like I get up in the morning and I go to the gym. There is a purpose behind that. I realized over time, after one speaking engagement, let me just tell you this. I was giving one speaking engagement down south and I remember being woozy. Like I was just like tired.
Takes a lot of energy.
Yeah.
People don't realize.
Right. Though typically I get tons of energy from it. Right. But I was feeling dizzy. I just wasn't feeling my best. Why? Because the food that I'd been eating that whole week prior to was crap. Like it was the worst. Like I had been eating off purpose, if you will. Like I was eating the junk. All of that junk didn't allow me to do what I needed to do to serve my purpose that day. Like I could not deliver the speech I should have. People, I mean, it was fine. But in terms of the potential, it wasn't met. And I knew that. So when you think about being on purpose, it's the daily decisions that you make that are setting you up to serve your purpose. So that's, are you eating on purpose? Are you being fit on purpose? Are you connecting with people on purpose? Like your relationships, all of that matters in terms of you having the ability to live out your purpose, because you can't be your best self by yourself.
Right.
You have to have people and you have to be thoughtful about what you're doing to set yourself up to have the impact that you want in your life. So that's the other piece of it. And then the last piece is like the intentionality throughout. So when you're on purpose, you're consistently intentional about how you show up.
Absolutely. Okay. So what do you recommend someone who wants to be an entrepreneur like yourself and make great strides?
If you're trying to be an entrepreneur,
trailblazer, phenomenal woman like Jovian Zayne.
If you're trying to be an entrepreneur, make great strides, I suggest that you take some time first to think about what your purpose is. Period. Okay. Like that is the most grounding force. It is a settling force. It will keep you feeling secure. And in this age that we're in now, which will only continue to evolve, where we're constantly examining other people's lives and, you know, lives against our own, we're going to make mistakes. And so you got to be clear about who you are first before you're trying to check what someone else is doing.
Absolutely.
Because that will have you flip out. So I would say do your own purpose reflection. Then I would say if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, you want to make sure the company around you is tight. So who are your mentors, your sponsors, your advocates? Who are your investors from a human capital perspective and also financial perspective? Because again, you can't do it by yourself. People got to give you that change in more ways than one. And then the last thing I would say, if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, you want to be very clear around what are you fulfilling? Like, what's your service? Who are you serving? Know your customer extremely well. Be committed to serving that person or those people. So like, know your community. Know who do you want to impact? How do you want to impact them? And what needs to be true around you in order for that impact to be realized? Like, if you're trying to make socks, okay, who's going to make the socks? Do you know how to sell the socks? If you don't, like, there are lots of questions you should ask yourself in order to make sure that you can do the thing that you want to do. And if the answer is no, it's okay. But really re-examine who around you could help you get to your goal. Just do not think entrepreneurship means solo, because it does not.
Right. Absolutely. Well, Ms. Jovian Zayne, I have to thank you, the Create Your Life series. We thank you for being here with us on today, this beautiful Sunday, and teaching us how to be on purpose. So thank you. And
it's great to be here.
No,
Thanks
absolutely.
for having me.
We are excited to connect with you again. We'll definitely have to have you on as the On Purpose movement grows. And actually, we look into becoming a part of it. So,
yeah.
Caller, what's going on? How are you? Are you calling to speak to Ms. Jovian Zayne?
Jackson. I'm just calling to say that I have really enjoyed the show today, Miss Jovian and Kevin, with the purpose-driven. I'm sorry. Having purpose in your life and creating your own life. So, and I just want to say something real quick about reminding people not to always look to other people for their purpose, because a lot of times people will look to others and trying to find their purpose and what it is, but it's not about impressing or doing what someone else wants you to do. It's about being your own person and walking in faith.
Absolutely, walking in that faith. Okay, well, thank you, Ms. Jackson.
Absolutely agree.
Oops. Well, thank you, Ms. Jackson, for calling in. We really appreciate your time and appreciate you as a listener. Please feel free to always tune in with us on Sundays from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. with the Create Your Life series. Have a wonderful Sunday.
You too. Thank you.
Caller, hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing amazing. Who are we speaking with today?
Alicia from Cali.
Alicia from California, calling all the way.
Alicia.
Oh, well, what part of California? I got to ask. Vallejo. Oh, that's the hometown. That's my home team right there. What's up, home team? Yes, indeed.
I was just calling to thank you guys for, your messages on Sundays.
Oh, you are very, very welcome. And Ms. Jovian Zayne is here teaching us how to be on purpose. Ms. Jovian, please speak to our caller.
Well, how are you doing? Like, it sounds like things are going well in LA. Are you being on purpose? Or wait, you're not in LA, but in Cali.
Vallejo.
In Vallejo, that's right. In Vallejo. Are you being on purpose out there in Cali?
Yeah, we're doing good.
Hey, that's always a good thing. Well, Miss Alicia, we are so happy and so thankful that you listen in and tune in with us. So please stay committed, and we'll be here every Sunday from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to serve you and make sure that you get the best to create the life that you want.
Absolutely.
So thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
All righty. So, Create Your Life series fam, we are here. We have a couple more minutes, and so I want to do the recap with you. And I was taking notes while Ms. Zayne was sitting here talking to us. And
thank you.
Hey, when a phenomenal person is in a room with you, you be a fool not to take notes. So, the thing that I wanted to say, some of the things that I took away from what she said is that she said she patterned the International Day of Purpose after other successful days. So that's
totally.
Observation. And being able to commit to your own excellence. And then I thought the other thing that you said is that you built a team, a worldwide team. I don't know how long it took you, but you built a worldwide team and you actually trusted them to help you execute your mission of being on purpose today.
I did. Yes. I can't do it alone. Like, you can't be your best self by yourself. Again, so I think it's very critical. You've got people around you. Like, I think back to where I was in February. There's literally no way I could have pulled off having an International Day of Purpose with over 10 million people involved by myself. Like, that's just not even, no way.
And then you also, you touched on mentors, the importance of mentors. And then you also talked about, when you had your fist closed then you were holding on to what was comfortable. But then when you decided to expand, you opened that hand up And the blessings just came pouring in. And the opportunities and the possibilities that we said,
They came.
because those are unlimited.
That's it. I love that.
Wow. And I think one of the other most powerful things that you said today was about the company that you keep. And what was it? The company, you keep determines
the trouble you meet, or the opportunities you seek or keep, the joy you keep. I mean, you can insert a lot of different words, but the company is it's a determining factor in your outcomes.
Absolutely.
If you're around bad people, you can't be surprised when things around you suck.
Right.
Like, this is keep it real.
Absolutely. And what's funny is we had our first guest in the studio. His name was Eric Fondren, CEO of Free ATMs. He said, iron sharpens iron. And if you're not sharpening, you're rusting.
Woo!
And I was like, what?
You're rusty.
Yeah. You're rusting. So, oh man, that's phenomenal.
I love that. That's real.
So yes, Ms. Zayne, thank you for being here with us on the Create Your Life series. And Create Your Life series, family, as you know, you can always get in contact with us on our Instagram page at CYLS series. And we're here every Sunday, 5:30 to 6:30 to help you maximize your potential and results.